All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashim, Yahawahshi, Bahashim, Rakah Kwadash, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, our two great kings, the gods that the King James Bible speaks of, which again, the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahawah, and His only begotten Son, who the world of ignorance calls Christ, true name is Yahawahshi. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar, down that rule well. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, in all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Salaki. All right, so I just want to do a short lesson on how alone the spirit of Yahawah Bashim Yahawahshi allows it to go. And I want to name the video DJ Trump, you and your bosses are doing the will of Yahawah Yahawahshi. All right. And Lord wills, brothers can see on the screen the motivation for this lesson, or the inspiration for this lesson, comes from this article that I have here. All right, and this is for fair use purposes only. I'm not using this for any monetary gain. This is just for educational purposes only, fair use. And it says Trump posts meme saying he's on a mission from God, featuring the all-right symbol Pepe the Frog. All right, so it says a famous phrase from the 1980s Dan Aykroyd classic The Blues Brothers. Donald Trump posted a cryptic meme on Wednesday night declaring that he is on a mission from God, which also features an all-right symbol in the background. Salakia. All right, which all signs show that there's a very strong chance that Donald John Trump, will be the sitting president when the MOTB is ushered in, and he will be the sitting president when the War of Armageddon begins. All right, a very strong chance that he could be the president again that ushers in the MOTB, that will be sitting in office when the MOTB is ushered in, and he will lead Babylon the Great to the Third World War. A very strong chance. So the Most High did send him on a mission. All right. He did send him on a mission to finish this place off. All right. Ultimately. All right. Him, his bosses, which is the elite banking families out of London or England. All right. The Most High did send them on a mission. All right. Because like the scriptures say, all right, all things obey the Heavenly Father's will. All right. Who's the Edomites. All right. Everything on the planet Earth, all the people on the planet Earth, from the trees to the grass to the waters to the skies to the clouds. All right. All things obey the Heavenly Father's will. All right. All things obey the Heavenly Father's will. This is Job chapter 33, verse 15. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumbering upon the bed, then he opened the ears of men and sealeth their instructions. All right, so basically the Heavenly Father programs all people on the planet Earth, all right, to do what they do every day. All right, so all this stuff that Trump is doing, which he's really getting orders from his bosses. All right, again, the banking families out of England, all right, or London, all right, which they're getting their marching orders from Satan, which we know according to Job, the first chapter, that Job take his marching orders from who? The Heavenly Father. Yahawah Yahawahshi. All right. So the Most High sent Satan on a mission. All right. To tell these devils what to do. All right. Which ultimately is going to lead to their downfall, to their destruction. All right. So Satan's on a mission. All right. To basically work with Esau. All right. which makes Esau on a mission from their Heavenly Father. All right, to fulfill his will, ultimately. All right. So again, this is Job chapter 33, verse 16. Then he opened the ears of men and sealed their instructions. That includes the Edomites. That includes the Rothschild family, the Rockefeller family, all right, Donald Trump, and whoever else. All right, the Most High programs them to do everything that he wants them to do. All right, again, they take their marching orders from Satan, the spiritual demon Satan, which we know, again, according to Job, the first chapter, that he takes his orders from who? The Heavenly Father. All right. So Satan's on a mission. All right. Esau, they're all on a mission from the Heavenly Father to fulfill his will. All right. Which is ultimately going to lead to the destruction of the Edomites. All right. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 18, verse 3. Who governed the world with the palm of his hands, and all things, including the people on the earth, obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among from the profane. Which who is this? The Heavenly Father, Yahawah. All right. Again, who governed the world, which the word govern means control, with the palm of his hands, and all things obey his will. All right. And all things obey his will. All right. Matter of fact, let me pause it real quick. It's locking, brothers. I just wanted to look up the meaning. Lord wills, brothers, and soon the screen. I just did a simple Google search for the meaning to do the will of someone. And it says to do the will of someone, and this someone would be yahawahshi, means to fulfill their desire or intentions, often with a sense of submission or obedience. All right. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, here we go. It says sent on a mission. Salakia. Sent on a mission means someone has been assigned a specific task or duty to fulfill, often by the authority figure. Right, there you go. That's all you did right there. Again, sent on a mission means someone has been assigned a specific task or duty. All right, which really it begins with Satan, spiritual demon Satan. All right, which again they get Esau gets his marching orders from them, and Satan gets his marching orders from the Heavenly Father. All right, so it says someone has been assigned a specific task or duty to fulfill, often by an authority figure or organization. That authority figure is who? Yahawah Bashim Yahawah. All right, so Trump is on a mission from the Most High. All right, he is on a mission from the Most High to fulfill the will of the Most High, what he wants done. All right, and that's ultimately, and that's to fulfill his prophecies. Usher in the MOTB, which again is a strong chance that he could be the sitting president when that happens. You know, with all this crypto talk he's doing, leading the world, he wants America to lead the way in crypto, and you know, all this ties with Elon Musk and all that, even though they kind of look like they're not on the same page right now, but all of that, and you know, leading the world, he wants America to lead the way in cryptocurrency and all that jazz, and you know, all this trash talking he's talking against their own America's own allies, which is NATO and the EU, which we know ultimately the beast, which is NATO and the EU, is ultimately going to come up against the whore, which is America. We're seeing the beginning phase of that with Trump kicking that off. All right, after it's like rather it's calling NATO useless or talking about taking over certain NATO countries like Canada. All right, just basically talking trash to them NATO nations, which is adding fuel to the fire, which is ultimately going to lead to them different European nations destroying Babylon the Great, different European and NATO nations destroying Babylon the Great, All right, so him talking trash against Putin. Now he's saying Putin is playing with fire and all that. All right, so it's a strong chance he could be the guy in office when it goes down. Very strong chance, and Lord will he is. All right, but he is on a mission from the Most High to fulfill His will, just like everything else is. All right, like everything and everybody and everything else is. All right, Esau's no different. All right, because we know there's no such thing as free will. That's just a fairy tale. Again, we just read here. It says, "Who governed the world with the palm of His hand, and all things obey His will." So there's no such thing as free will. Again, that's a fairy tale. That's a Christianity fairy tale. All right, all things obey the will of the Heavenly Father. All people and things obey the will of yahawah, yahawahshi, the gods that the King James Bible speaks of. All right. So I'm gonna get one last precept. I'm gonna wrap it up. It's kind of late. I'm ready to lay it down. This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart, right? Who's the king of Babylon right now? Donald Trump. All right, and the king of the Edomites are the higher up elite banking families, which has dominance over the planet Earth right now. It says the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. Heart meaning la'ab, goes back to the Hebrew word la'ab, which means your mind. All right, the king's mind or his heart is in the hands of the Lord, and as the rivers of the water, He turneth it wheresoever He will. Right, so the Heavenly Father makes them do whatever He wants them to do. All right, Satan gets his marching orders, and Satan runs and tells them, and the Heavenly Father programs them to listen to Satan. That's how it works. That's how it works. Again, there's no such thing as free will. All right, that's a Christianity fairy tale. All right, everything and everybody obeys the will of the Heavenly Father. All right, including Donald John Trump. So he is on a mission for the Most High. The Most High sent him on a mission to fulfill, do everything possible to ultimately fulfill His prophecies. All right, which He's doing. All right, just like everything else, everything and everybody else, all doing the will of the Heavenly Father. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory again unto Yahawah, Bahashim, Yahawahshi, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors again to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And peace and safety to you, brothers that push this truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.